Disciplinary removals can have significant effects on all students, including students with disabilities, causing them to miss critical instruction and educational services, which can negatively affect student outcomes. For example, a student who misses foundational math lessons due to a removal may fall behind and struggle to catch up. Additionally, students with extensive disciplinary removals may be less inclined to return to school and more likely to drop out. So what are disciplinary removals? Simply put, they are removals of students from their educational environment due to disciplinary reasons. The discipline data states capture and report to the U.S. Department of Education fall into 4 removal categories. In-school suspensions, which are instances when a student is removed from his or her regular classrooms but remains in school. Out-of-school suspensions, which are instances when a student is temporarily removed from his or her regular school to another setting. Expulsions, which are instances when students are removed from school for the remainder of the school year, based on reasons outlined in most schools' codes of conduct. And unilateral removals, which are removals of students with disabilities to interim alternative education settings for up to 45 days by either a school official or a hearing officer. These unilateral removals are usually made by school personnel rather than a student's individualized education program, or IEP, team, and occur when a student has committed the offenses of serious bodily injury, possession of drugs, or possession of weapons. Regardless of the category, it is important to note that when students with disabilities are removed from their educational environment for more than 10 days in a school year, the removal initiates certain requirements and procedural rights under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. Students with disabilities have the right to educational services, which may be provided in a different location after a student has been removed from his or her regular school for more than 10 days. Let's dig into how states report discipline data. States must report data to the U.S. Department of Education on any disciplinary removals taking place during the state's defined reporting period, which must be 12 consecutive months. States must submit discipline data in the late winter, and data are broadly focused on counts of disciplinary removals by removal category, the lengths of removals, and reasons for unilateral removals. Additionally, states must report data for all students with and without disabilities who were expelled and whether they received educational services during expulsion. Shifting gears, let's talk about how states might use these discipline data. States use discipline data to report on their implementation of IDEA, so it's important to ensure that the data are of high quality. For example, states use their discipline data in other federal reports like the State Performance Plan and Annual Performance Report, also known as the SPP-APR. In the SPP-APR, states must report on out-of-school suspensions and expulsions greater than 10 days for students with disabilities, and they must break the data down by race and ethnicity. States also use discipline data when determining significant disproportionality, as IDEA requires, particularly when focusing on the incidence, duration, and type of disciplinary actions, including suspensions and expulsions by race and ethnicity. How else can discipline data be used? Analyzing discipline data in different ways can reveal discipline patterns or trends for certain groups of students. For example, states can analyze discipline data to determine which local education agencies, or LEAs, may need more intensive technical assistance or support in implementing the disciplinary requirements of IDEA. Additionally, LEAs may analyze their own data to identify patterns such as high rates of out-of-school suspensions or high rates of disciplinary removals for particular racial or ethnic groups in certain schools. LEAs can use these findings to identify schools that require additional resources or professional development around positive behavioral supports and alternatives to disciplinary removals. LEAs also can use these data to pair schools that have disciplinary challenges with schools that have more successful discipline policy implementation, facilitating opportunities for peers to learn from each other and share successful strategies. This use of discipline data can be invaluable in ensuring that removals are appropriate and students with disabilities are receiving the access to instruction and educational services they need and are entitled to receive by law. For more information on discipline data, visit the IDEA Data Center website at ideadata.org.